Average guys.
Oh, shit. Okay. Hey everyone, I'm Vic.
Hey, I'm Darren.
Okay, so welcome to Average Guy Finance.
Finance.
Yeah. All right, so what do we want to talk about today? Like this tax thing?
Yeah, so there was a story that came out, I guess, a week and a half ago now about super rich people not paying their taxes.
Yeah.
And one of the people that was sort of singled out was our friend, Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about that.
So it's basically like a leak where like a bunch of billionaires got their taxes for the last few years leaked.
Mm-hmm.
So now we can see that in percentage of their wealth growth, they're actually paying like a very small amount. Like it ranges from like the top guys were saying like it was like 3% or so for these billionaires. Some of them were paying.
Okay.
Warren Buffett, he was paying more like 0.2%.
Okay.
Of his wealth growth in those years he paid in taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people were like really
Now when you say wealth growth, what does
Yes.
that mean though?
Yeah, so that's the key thing because
Okay.
it's like so it's wealth growth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Warren Buffett in that time, I think he made something like $24 billion or something like that, right?
Okay.
And so they're saying like, oh, he only paid 24 million in taxes, and that they're saying that works out to be like 0.2%
Okay.
tax rate.
But did he really make $24 billion?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
So it's like So it's like it's one of the things that's the people that are reporting it. I think they're just not reporting it accurately, or they're glossing over the part about the difference between wealth growth and like income.
Yeah, so if I understand this right, so I had bought, I won't say the stock, but, or maybe who cares still. But I bought a stock a couple of months ago, and the price went up by $10, and so the value of my stock went up nicely, right? But last week it had gone down.
Yeah.
And now it's not as valuable.
Yeah. So
you can't say that at that time when the stock was high that I should be paying taxes on that, right?
Yeah.
Because the value of a stock is not realized until you sell it.
Yes.
Which is basically what we're saying. Sorry, that was a long way to say that.
So like some of these people like Kyle Kulinsky, he was making a big deal about it on YouTube. Like so Kyle Kulinsky, he's one of my favorite YouTubers for politics, and like I think he nails stuff bang on.
Yeah, he really knows his
and
stuff.
Like Joe Rogan had him on for his election coverage, and there was like so many people were listening in on that, and Kyle Kulinsky did an excellent job on that.
Okay.
But it seems like he kind of has like a blind spot when he talks about these economic kind of issues.
Like he doesn't really get the stock market, or what? Like,
I'm guessing it. Like it's like, but he kind of does, but he kind of like glosses over it, and it's like you can't gloss over it. Like it's a very important distinction.
Yeah.
That when you're making investments, that's not income until there's actual realized income.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like when we're investing, like so it's important for like everyone getting into investing that we know this, right? So you have income on your investments when you get dividends, when you get interest, so like interest on your bonds, for example, or when you get capital gains. So when you sell your bonds, or when you sell your stocks, or when you sell your house, or that kind of stuff, that's a capital gain, right? So that's basically saying like, if you bought a stock for $1,000 and then you sell it for $3,000, right?
Yeah.
You have a $2,000 capital gain.
Right.
Right? When you sell it.
When you sell it. That's the big thing. So what the journalist who wrote that story was estimating what Warren Buffett should have paid in taxes on stock that he has not sold yet.
Yeah.
which you can't do.
Yeah, and if you base it off of the stock that he did sell, so he during that time he sold about $124 million of stock.
Okay.
Because all his wealth is basically tied up into Berkshire Hathaway.
Yeah.
And he paid taxes on that. And
Right.
he paid like a 20% tax rate. So if you want to argue that that tax rate should be higher, then that's a fair point.
That's a fair point.
And that the Biden administration now, they're talking about increasing capital gains taxes on millionaires.
Okay.
So like if you make more than $1 million in capital gains, you would have to pay a higher tax rate.
Okay.
That's a fair argument.
That's
right?
a fair argument. I'm
Yeah.
sure he wouldn't have a problem with that.
No,
Some
yeah.
people would, but he
Yeah.
doesn't seem to have a problem with paying whatever taxes.
And like
he's
Warren
supposed to pay.
Buffett said in the past, like that I'm not getting taxed enough. He's like, why? Like my secretary's paying a higher tax rate than I am. So he's already talked about it in the past. So is it kind of like, I didn't want to. It was kind of like seemed like people were like,
You say, oh, these evil,
Yeah.
this evil guy's he's cheating the system and he's doing this. He's not cheating the system at all.
It sort of made it seem like that he was doing something
nefarious.
and like beyond legality or like something immoral, right? And it's like, no, he's not, because he's just basically he's doing what we would do. Like we avoid paying taxes if we don't have to, because
Right, we contribute to our RSPs.
Yeah.
We hike our well, I mean, what do? We claim expenses. Everything you have
Everyone
to do
does that. Everyone does
to
that.
lower the taxes that you pay, or you should be doing that, right? That's
Yeah.
what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so to say like he's doing something nefarious, that's not what's happening, right? So like I think we just have to call balls and strikes the way like this stuff's going on,
Yeah,
right?
you can,
It's like it's
change
not
the strike zone whenever you want.
Yeah,
depending
so
on-
it's like I think you can argue that maybe the billionaires should be paying more in taxes
Sure.
off of their income, right? But
Right.
you have to look at like it's not income until they actually sell the stock. So they haven't actually made that income.
Yeah.
Because like
Well, that's surprising
Yeah.
that someone like Kyle Kulinsky doesn't seem to understand that, because I think I've heard him. Again, everything else he's sharp, he's spot on, he knows his stuff. But when he talks about the stock market, he's still one of those people that refers to it as smoke and mirrors, right?
and he's like, oh, it's just gambling. And
It's
it's like
just
he's like,
gambling.
why should you pay a lower tax rate than someone who's actually going to work every single day?
well,
Because he's like, so because all you're doing, so someone's going out and working all day, and all you're doing is gambling. It's like, well, no, it's not
No,
gambling.
it's
It's
not.
like you're funding businesses that you think will do well, and those businesses are using those funds to expand their business. So you're not just gambling. You're providing an important tool for the market, because these businesses, if no one funds them,
right.
they're not going to have the money to expand.
Yeah, they need that capital
Yeah.
to stay in business and grow their business and
Yeah.
grow the country, grow the economy. It's a good thing that's happening there.
Yeah.
I don't see how you can call it gambling, because I mean, if you were to go out and start a business, I mean, that is a gamble, but nobody would call that
It's
gambling,
not gambling.
right?
Yeah, no, you're making an investment. Yeah,
Right.
you're not going to the casino and betting on throwing everything on black, right?
Yeah.
You're making
Yeah.
intelligent choices, hopefully, and it's like,
Right.
and we need people out there who are able to allocate capital where it's most sensible. It's like, oh, this is a company, they have a good idea, they just need some more money, so we're going to provide that money, and they're going to be able to grow,
Right.
and they're going to like provide jobs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's not, but like a lot of people were upset about this whole thing.
Well, a story
it's
like that, I mean, there's so much clickbait, right? So that's a story that a middle class person or someone who hates capitalism is going to look at that story and get angry and read it, and then that's just going to verify all of those angry
and it's
thoughts that
like-
they turn over in their head.
And it's something with capitalism. Like, I know that there's issues with capitalism, but it's like, I don't like. Do we really have like a better system?
No, I think it's the best
Yeah.
thing going. It's the best system.
Yeah, I know people talk about like socialism, and they talk about like worker co-ops.
Yeah.
And I know, like, so some of like our workplaces, like if the workers controlled everything, it would be absolute chaos.
It would be totally
Like,
chaos,
it would be just
Some
like
of the people I work with, I wouldn't
Like-
want them controlling lunch. You know? They can't
it was just
work
like
on
yeah,
that.
like it was just like some of the, like we worked at the same company, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I can't imagine.
No,
Like, I
nothing,
can't- like,
nothing
I-
would get done. Nothing would get done, you know,
Yeah.
in a co-op in our environment anyway.
Yeah, and I know like because like I've kind of been sympathetic to like kind of like Marxist thoughts
Mhm.
in the past, but like
Yeah,
one
okay.
thing I
That's you.
never understood.
Mhm.
They always say like that the capitalists are taking advantage of the workers.
Mhm.
That there's like they're basically saying like all the work that the workers are doing, if for anyone to take a profit,
Mhm.
that means that you're taking advantage of the workers.
Mhm.
But it's like
So what do they want? What does he want done with the profits? Distributed equally amongst the workers?
yeah, they're basically like if there is a profit at all,
Yeah.
then there's that then just by definition there's some sort of exploitation going on. But the way I think of it is like if there's just like capital, like just machinery lying around,
Mhm.
or just like spare parts, and just a bunch of workers milling around,
Mhm.
that's all there is going to be until someone with some vision and some comes along and actually puts all that stuff into some sort of semblant order,
Right.
It's
Mhm.
like, okay, no, these machines have to be put here and here and here. You have to do this, this, and this, and this.
Yeah.
Okay, that just stuff like doesn't happen just magically,
No.
right? You actually have some visionary who's like kind of come like, here's the product we're gonna make. This is how we're gonna make it.
Right.
This is the people that we're gonna hire to do it.
Mhm.
Like all that stuff takes effort,
Mhm.
right? So like just and for someone to do that, they're gonna expect a profit, or like some
Yeah, I
because
mean,
like, you
yeah.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah. There's also like, I mean, if you don't have that profit there, what motivation is there for someone to come along with that
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
make all that happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess like the whole segment, like the point of this segment is like it's like you can't be angry about like the system because it's like and I kind of was like in the past
in my 20s, I think I didn't
like
really,
before I got
understand
into like
it, yeah.
all this investing and stuff
Mhm.
like that, but it's like I know there's like stuff that's wrong with the system that could be fixed with the system,
Mhm.
but like you don't have to like throw the entire system out the window
No.
and say like everything's bad with it.
Right.
And like I think like a story like this, like with the taxes thing,
Mhm.
it gets people riled up
Yeah.
and say like, oh, there's something wrong here, like this is not right.
Right.
And it's like,
It's just reaffirming
Yeah.
those beliefs that they already
Yeah.
had about.
but think about it, because like Warren Buffett, like he's worth $100 billion.
Mhm.
He can't go out and just spend $100 billion.
No.
Right?
No.
Because it's like he doesn't have that kind of like spending power. Like
Mhm.
it's all tied up in his stocks.
Right.
So it's like, it wouldn't be fair to just say, oh well, you have $100 billion, so
You have to do what with it? What would
Yeah.
what would a socialist or a
yeah,
Marxist
or
want
or
you
like
to do with
just
that?
say like, oh, your stock went up like $2 billion, so you have to pay taxes on that $2 billion that the stock theoretically went up,
Right.
Because it could go down next year.
It could go down $2 billion.
Yeah.
Next year. So then what do they say about that? Does he get $2 billion? Like, does he get?
like
Yeah.
a tax. So, but let me ask you, like, do you think that there should be billionaires?
I don't have a problem with there being billionaires. Like
Yeah.
there's some memes going around where it's like you get to $999 million and then that's it. You
Yeah.
you can't make any money. You get a plaque that says you won capitalism, and then the rest of your money gets
Yeah.
put into I don't know what to.
I guess-
picnics and ice cream. But
Yeah. The one thing I'm concerned about is it's like money is so important in our society. So it's like if you have money, then you kind of like can have an outsized stake and say in how things are run.
Okay.
Because
Well, yeah.
if you have $1 billion, politicians take you more seriously. So you're like, okay, this is what I want to get done.
Mhm. You have an effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can, over policy and.
Yeah, so that's the only thing. Like, so okay, like so
Okay.
if we're gonna have like these billionaires, like are they gonna like be running things? So that's kind of like the thing that people get on Bill Gates about.
Mhm.
Because like okay, you have all this money, like why is it that you get to like decide vaccine policy and like infrastructure policy, right?
Right.
So that's kind of like a fair point.
Yeah.
Because like
But-
just because you're a billionaire, does that mean you get to decide everything?
Yeah, but on the other hand, is he really deciding anything, or is he just like he has the means to get rid of 5 major diseases, right? So isn't that a good thing that he's doing? You know, isn't that?
And is he kind of feeling a leadership void?
Maybe, yeah.
Because
right.
like we've had some like who look at the people that we've had in charge in terms of politicians. Like are they people that you want to like have a lot of faith in? Recently, I would say no, but it's like it's a tough call. But it's like I think like you have to report the story correctly.
Yeah, just be accurate, but there's not a lot of that. Well, I mean, there is still that, but man, journalism is like it's in a weird place right now because it's just like it just seems like every story that you're reading, you have to understand that story has a commitment first to the publication and their values and their advertisers, right?
Even Jim Cramer on CNBC, because he kind of wants to be like kind of like in the hip crowd a little bit too, right? He doesn't want to like get. So even he was saying like, oh, this is outrageous, and it's like. He knows all this stuff. He knows like capital gains. He knows this is not realized gains, but like. You know, but it's like he still wants to kind of feed because he's like, I know what people want to hear.
Right.
people want me to bash the billionaires a little bit, right?
People
but it's
want,
like,
people want to get angry. They want to hear this story. They want to hear me say this.
Yeah.
It's just about retaining viewership.
But I think that let's learn the tax system for ourselves and then apply it.
Well, that's the other thing. That's the good thing about the system. Like, the system has flaws, but it is the best system going, and it's set up for you to go out and make a lot of money. You know, if you just know how to do things. You know. Yeah,
because everyone can invest in the stock market, and we have like.
Isn't that a beautiful thing that everybody can invest in the stock market? It's so beautiful.
And we have tax advantaged accounts where you don't have to pay any money on your dividends or your interest or capital gains taxes. Right? The government's like encouraging you to invest in your stock market and grow your wealth, and they're like, we will waive the tax on that. That's
there
great.
You go.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, like you talk to 100 people, just regular average. I mean, not to say regular average people, but you know who I'm talking about, who just that's a totally different thing happening there. That they're never. Most people go their whole lives without knowing.
Yeah. So we're like small time investors, and we have a tax-free savings account, which is something the Canadian government has set up, right? And we haven't paid any taxes. Like, let alone on our unrealized gains. We haven't paid taxes on our realized gains, right?
Right.
And people might say, oh, that's unfair. Because we're not paying taxes on, our wealth is going up, but we're not paying taxes on that.
Yeah.
But look, I mean, that's the system we've set up. Like, you take advantage of it.
Right.
Like, why are you like sitting there being bitter about it like all the time? Like,
Yeah, it's a nice thing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what people are so angry about.
But Or keep tuning in, and we'll talk more about like all these tax-free savings accounts and like how you can take advantage of this.
Isn't that amazing? Again, just that point. You can have a tax-free savings account. Your realized gains, you don't pay. You're gonna pay income tax on that.
Yeah.
You take that out, go on a vacation. You know, you can do that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
Hopefully that was informative, guys.
Hopefully it was informative. It was please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Yes. Okay.
See you.
Take care.